Hello, welcome to CEO Insights. My name is Vitali. I'm very excited to introduce Brendan Keegan. Brendan, welcome to the show.
Vitaly, thanks for having me today. Excited to talk to you and your audience.
So Brendan is a six-time CEO. He's actually currently as chairman of a number of companies. He's a really veteran and in many industries, but one of the most fast-moving vehicles and electric vehicles, and he's on the board. He's been a board director for or board member for 21 companies. So you had a lot of experience, Brendan. But the topic that we want to go to talk about today is not so much the operational excellence, but leadership excellence. Yeah. And so tell us your view of what is fearless leadership, because I know you have a whole philosophy around that.
Yeah, no, so thanks. I love talking about leadership. I love talking about being fearless with your leadership. I think leadership is something that's learned. It's not a birthright. I think you can come from any background, any part of the world, any economic status, socioeconomic status, and the day you decide to be a leader is the day you become a leader. So, and it's the greatest gift anyone can give to themselves because it unlocks your future. But when I think of fearless leadership, like what does it really take? It starts with the first thing is having a vision. If you're gonna be fearless, if you're gonna be a leader, it's like what do you want? What do you want for your company? What do you want for your life? Having some type of vision and then building relationships around you that are going to push that vision forward. One line I remember seeing on a quote on Instagram many years ago, and it stuck with me is, if you look at your friend group and if they don't inspire you, you don't have a circle, you have a cage. So relationships is like the second biggest part of having a fearless leadership style is having a vision, having people around you that are going to go on that fearless journey with you, and then being able to communicate it so that those people can follow you down a transformational path.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful. I was kind of like smiling on the inside. I go, okay, vision, relation. He's saying all the words that I love. um, so it's this. When you were saying, I always have a little voice on me. I think what he's talking about is that leadership is a choice. It's not a
It's a
profession,
cho- no,
right?
it's a choice. And,
Right?
and by the way, it's a daily choice. So you can be a leader today. And if tomorrow morning when you wake up, if you don't choose to be a leader, you're going to become a manager. And there's a
Yes.
big difference between being a leader and being a manager. So just because you became a leader, you became, the team director of your IT team, or you founded a company, or whatever it is, that doesn't mean that you're a leader for perpetuity. It is a daily decision that you have to make when you roll out of bed in the morning.
Brandon, that's what my wife says about marriage. She says,
That's true.
she says, like the minute you know haven't chosen, he says, "Wait a minute, where's my kiss? Where is my hug?"
Yeah, there you
And I'm like,
there you
"Oh, I'm
go.
too busy. I'm too busy. I'm too busy." And I'm like, "Oh, Jesus!" Like, so isn't
No.
that a parallel? Like, because we forget we go on automatic.
Well, it's a parallel in more than one way because, being a leader doesn't mean that every day is going to be perfect. In being, I've been married 28 years. We've had way more good days and bad days, but that doesn't mean that we haven't had our challenges, whether that's health or family or kids or where we live or moving. And what you got to do is you got to stick to that vision. You got to stick to that relationship. And in marriage, even maybe more than business, you got to communicate. If you communicate, you build the relationship and you have a vision for what you want out of life. We want to raise young, productive kids that become society pluses that do great things, and you want to leave a legacy of yourself of giving back and leaving an impact on the world. Then you're going to stay together for a long time.
Yeah, and if you don't, then you're gonna pretty much get that divorce rate of 50%, right? Which is what's happening because you're kind of falling asleep,
Absolutely,
right? Ignoring.
absolutely.
Okay, so let's go there. I think the leadership as a marriage is kind of a good analogy, isn't it? Because it triggers all. I mean, for those of us who are married, not everybody's married, but it's a relation. I'm sure everybody experienced that commitment to a relationship, and we're commit. And this baby or this wife or this whatever or this husband, if it's a woman, is our business, and we are married to it more than sometimes in reality, right? It's just such a deep connection of commitment. Um, I want to explore this part because you've done a lot of these marriages. You've
Yeah.
been married a few times, sometimes even divorced, right? It didn't go right. Um, what's the state of mind that you need to have? I know it's fearless, but I'm going a little bit deeper. Um, what's the state of mind that you need to have to be that kind of a leader, the committed leader?
And I look at attributes. I think the number one attribute you have to have to transform companies, to stay married, to stay to your business, to make it through the challenging, tough times, whether that be investors or clients or employees, is being resilient. Being able to problem solve. So, a problem comes up, being resilient, and the first thing that happens is, I have a saying, have the courage to fail and the faith to succeed. So when the problem comes up, having the courage to face the problem, not hide from it, but the faith that you're actually going to succeed at solving the problem. And and right or wrong, I've always fundamentally believed in my career and in my personal life that everything is solvable. Literally everything is solvable. All of a sudden, you're not making the profit your company wants. Well, figure that out. Is it pricing? Is it geography? Is it product mix? Is it your sales proposition? You need more capital, and can you find out where are investors investing? Can you bring investors in Series A, B, debt capital, whatever it is? So I've always believed that if you have faith in yourself and your business, your relationships, your company, and you display courage, you'll have the opportunity to succeed.
How beautiful. I think what you're talking about, I don't know, I'm hearing different undertones as I listen because I listen from a different place. And you said words like faith, belief, right?
Yes.
This is not a management MBA. I did my MBA, then they never taught us about that. They taught us ratio analysis and whatever, M&As and you're almost talking of spiritual language. This is what a church preacher would talk about. Believe, right? Faith, right?
What I'd say is that that's one definition of it, but faith starts with believing in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, if you don't have faith that you are the right leader, then you might not be. You then have to have faith in the team that you hire and the people around you. Sometimes I'll hear a leader say, all the people on my team are idiots," and I'm like, "Well, then why are they on your team?" Like you don't have faith in your team. You're not breathing life into them. You're not helping them believe that you can achieve whatever vision that you're after. So it's faith in yourself, faith in the team around you, faith that good things are going to happen. And that might be starting to touch on the spiritual side, but do you wake up in the morning and believe that, hey, we're going to take this product to market and we're going to do a good job with it? And we also know people that are in our lives, and I know personally I've like weeded them out of my life as much as possible, that say, "Oh, we're going to take this product, watch this, the markets aren't going to accept it," and it's like they're already going down a negative path. So it's being positive and believing. And then, by the way, when you don't get the positive result and things aren't going, believing that there is a positive result and there is a way. You might just have to tack 10 yards to the right, 10 degrees to the left, whatever, and figuring that out and having that resiliency that I talked about.
Yeah, I can totally associate with it. It's kind of like a half glass full. It's what a good
Sure.
sportsman, what a good sportsman also, like competitive sportsman. They're not focused on losing. They'll focus on they already see themselves winning. Even if they're lost, it doesn't matter. It's just they won something. They
Yeah.
learned something from it. I want to ask you this final question. So sometimes we as CEOs, we don't get a choice. We inherit a team that's half good, half bad apples, like whatever. Somebody else already conditioned them, and you can't walk in and you go, oh my God, this is not the winning. This is not a team I would use if I was a racing car. This is not, I would not, that wouldn't be racing for me, right?
Yep.
What do you do? And some not just the team, not executive team, but maybe you say you're in charge of 5,000, 6,000 people and a lot of them
Yep.
shouldn't be there even. What do you
Yeah,
do?
well, the first thing I'd say is your job as their new leader is to provide them a vision that they can opt into. So oftentimes when you have underperforming people, let's say on your leadership team, my last company, we had 10 people on the leadership team. The company wasn't performing at a high level. It was growing about 2% a year. And before I said, okay, these aren't the right people, the previous leaders found 2, 3, 4% growth acceptable. So to some extent, they were doing what they were asked. They weren't asked to go win the Super Bowl, the World Championship. They weren't asked for 50% growth. they weren't then given the tools to do that. So the first is having a vision that people can decide I'm going to jump on the train or I'm not. The second thing is giving every single person the opportunity to be successful. So don't go in saying these people for whatever reason aren't going to be successful because you already are kind of predisposing that they're not going to be. So go down the path of everyone's going to be successful, but they have to join the vision. They have to buy into the culture. They have to do the daily actions. And then the last and most important thing is hold them accountable. And accountability means when they do a great job, promoting them, giving them greater opportunities of responsibility. It also means having consequences if they aren't achieving the vision, the results, the expectations that you have as a leader, and being equally distribute those, the opportunities and the consequences. So I always go in thinking everyone there is going to make it. Now I know architecturally, statistically that they're not, but I go in under the premise of I'm going to take this team to meet this vision and climb this mountain.
Okay, that makes total sense. Accountability, hold the space for them. Assume that yeah, don't assume they're going to fail. Where does coaching comes in? Remember, I think we said, a great leader
Yeah,
is a great coach. He doesn't
yeah.
assume.
Coaching comes in when you have that small group of people that buy into the vision, but they don't have the skills, they don't have the experience. They have all the attributes. They want to get there. They just don't know how to climb the mountain. And that's when you get out there and you put the cables on them and you get the cords and you're climbing the mountain and you're showing them, step by step what they have to do. But it's their responsibility to first check in and then be the ones to say, I want to climb the mountain, but I
Yeah,
don't have the skills. I don't have the experience. How do I do it?
perfect. So it's basically saying it's also their choice. They have to
Yes.
choose consciously to stretch to a whole
Well,
new level.
the reality, it's their choice. It's not yours. You can't make that choice for them. It's their choice whether they are going to check in, buy into the vision, and climb the mountain with you. You can try to make that choice for them, but at the end of the day, it's up to them as individuals.
Yeah, I totally agree. It really comes back because I thought about it a lot. This choice making it's a really important part of leadership, both for a leader to choose who they are and the people to choose to follow the leader and to choose to advance. If there isn't that choice, then there is no opening for it. And a lot of people don't consciously choose it. They're just there because, don't you agree? They'll choose because they're comfortable, because they're afraid of change, and so they just sit in it. So one of the roles of the leader is kind of push him to, hey, make a decision. Are you going to stay married to this? If you don't want to stay married, then find yourself another option. But don't try to be. How can I say? I don't know what I'm saying. I'm saying like don't try to be fall into unconscious pattern, pretend that you're somebody, and yet underneath you're really choosing not to be, not to fight for what you believe in. I'm not.
Absolutely.
And as humans, we are. I mean, I've been caught many times in a very senior position. I got kind of like, I mean, the package was nice. I was confident in what I'm doing. I was mediocrely good, and
Yep.
I chose to fall asleep. And I remember those moments. And then my boss really woke me up. He literally, so one of the roles of leaders is to kind of shake up there a little bit, shake up, right? That's a transformational leader. Mhm.
Absolutely.
Wonderful, wonderful. Listen, thank you so much. I really enjoyed it. Where people can find your book and your work on fearless leadership.
Yeah, so if you want to follow me, I'm on Instagram at BPK, as in Brendan Patrick Keegan, Fearless at bpkfearless.com. I'm on LinkedIn under Brendan P. Keegan. I've got a website, brendanpkeegan.com, and then my books are on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and they're The FUD Factor, which is more of like a personal journey, and then Dare to Disrupt, which is really a business playbook on how to grow and transform your business.
I love it. I love it. And I love both titles. Dare to Disrupt. I actually was literally thinking of something similar today, but you already beat me to
All right.
it. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Vitaly. And just remember, audience, have the courage to fail and the faith to succeed.
Yay. Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye.